Hey guys, it's Evan. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video is going to be all about Litha, what it is, ways you can celebrate it, etc., etc. So without further ado, I do have some little pieces of paper here with some information written down, so hopefully it's not going to be all over the place. Hopefully this will help you guys out, and I hope you guys enjoy this video. Don't forget to subscribe and give it a thumbs up if you like it. I don't think I've ever actually done a traditional Sabbat video before. I think this is my first, but I know I've talked about it quite a bit. So let's just start off with what is Litha, aka Midsummer. As we all know, Litha, or Midsummer, falls on, it's actually the summer solstice, and it's generally within a day or two of June 20th to June 21st. Now, that's really exciting for a lot of reasons. One, obviously it's warm out, shorts, birds, animals are out, pools are going, backyard barbecues. There's tons of things you can do because, you're no longer indoors, stuck inside, cold, dreary, shitty weather. So, this is basically what Litha is. It's basically a celebration of light and warmth. We just spent 6 months of the year in darkness and cold, dreary, crappy weather, and now finally we have warmth. Our crops are growing, our herbs are flourishing, and this is also the time of year to harvest some of those herbs. And I'm going to get to that here in a minute more in detail. Now, also, I do realize not every Wiccan or witch lives in a rural area, such as myself. And I'm actually thinking about doing an urban witch video series, actually, just, people who live in the city, ways they can be, I guess, kind of become more within nature, even though you might live in the city. So hopefully that will help you guys out. Give this video a thumbs up if you want to see an urban witch series. Anyway, something an urban witch can do, for example, go to parks, go to one of the parks near you, sit in the grass, be in the trees, feed the geese. Also, just feel the energy of the structures. Everything has an energy. The granite that the buildings are made out of has an energy. Everything has an energy, so just kind of absorb it. The sun, absorb the sun's energy, aka sunbathing, and just soak it all in and just take it all in and be prepared, because here in a couple of months it's going to start getting dark again. This is also time for you to greet fairies and to greet other worldly realms such as gnomes, giants, selkies, which I will get to more in a minute. This is also time to appreciate birds and other animals. I will be doing another series, probably more about bird augury itself. It's actually very exciting. There is more to bird watching than you think. You can communicate with birds, feel the bird's energy, feel their presence, give back to them, things like that. Speaking of giving back to birds, what are some things you can do for Litha? Well, one thing you can do for Litha, which is what I like to do, I'm trying to get my son, who's almost 3 in this habit, is around Litha, you find pine cones, and it's better to get all natural peanut butter and some bird seed, and then make, I don't know if you guys remember doing that in school or not, make the little bird seeds out of the pine cones, cover it in the peanut butter, then roll it in seed, and then hang it on trees. That's really fun to do. It helps the birds. It's all natural. It's biodegradable. It's great. Another thing you can do, speaking of birds, is building bird houses, and you can make those out of sticks and some, basic, hopefully non-toxic glue. And there's really, the possibilities are endless. Every time you go on a walk, plant some wildflowers. You can find any kind of wildflower, little flower packet seeds for any state you live in, and just sprinkle them here and there every time you go on a walk. I like to personally also pick up garbage. It's really, really sad and unfortunate to see not only my private property, but also national forests that is just littered with shotgun shells, garbage from picnics, clothing. I've seen clothing. I found sunglasses before. I found a camera before. And all those things it's not good for the environment. The batteries in that camera, it completely taints the soil. the garbage that gets in the water. It kills the fish and it kills the animals that drinks the water. So I try, every time I go on a hike, especially on Litha, I try to go on at least one good hike on Litha, or at least on the eve of Litha. And as I'm going on that hike, I pick up trash. And if, like I said, if you don't live in a rural area where you have access to the mountains, you can easily do this in a park that's your favorite park, a little hiking trail that's nearby you, your neighborhood, your street even. So there is a lot of ways that you could actually help, give back to the earth in very simple ways during Litha. Another thing you can do is eat some delicious seasonal and traditional foods, such as braised asparagus, really anything citrusy, lemons, oranges, limes, and any kind of fruit in general is really, really abundant this time of year. So this is also the time of year to kind of get in your wild berry pies as well as your elderberry bubbles. Those are really good. And if you guys want to see potentially more kitchen witch videos of me actually making these things and posting them so you guys can see them, then give this video a thumbs up or comment below what you guys would like to see. You can also just reconnect with the elements. For example, find a nice, chill, relaxing watering hole, and just sit in it and have like a cleansing bath in the warm summer day. It's like solar cleansing as well as water cleansing. And go earthing. Earthing is really fun. Some people are a little weary of it, and I don't blame you because of, tetanus, I almost said tinnitus, tetanus within soil, and like I said, people do unfortunately litter the forest, and there is rusty metal. But earthing is basically when you take your shoes off and you basically go barefoot and you feel the soil between your toes, and if you can't do that, then at least lay down in the soil, lay down on a good rock and just absorb the sun and just feel the nature, feel the rock's energy, the tree's energy, the soil's energy, the sky's energy, and just really pretty much become one. Meditate. Essentially, it's like a self-cleansing. It's a really good time to do self-cleansings, just simply because the energy is so high with the sun's, passion, fire, burning. It's extremely good for protection magic, banishing magic as well, and especially magic involving fertility. Other ways you can do this is the Holly King and the Oak King. If you guys have not heard the legend of the Holly King and the Oak King, that is one of my favorite stories to tell my little boy. So basically, the story goes like this. And there's a few variations. This is just the one that I personally recall and the one that I tell my son. But like I said, there are many variations according to where you live in the world, what you believe in, etc., etc. But it's basically a battle between the Holly King and the Oak King. Now, the Holly King is essentially seen as like a pagan Santa Claus, if you will. He looks pretty similar to Santa Claus, actually, as well. He wears, a red dress, or not even a dress. He dresses in all red, has a sprig of holly, an older guy, big ruffly beard, and he rides around on 8 stags. And whereas you have the Oak King, and the Oak King is more seen like the Green Man, covered in leaves, very leafy, very earthy, basically a protector of the forest. Well, each year on the solstice, the winter solstice, Yule, and Litha, the summer solstice, the two battle. Now, what happens generally this time of year is the Oak King is severely injured, and the Holly King reigns between Litha all the way to Yule. Now, during the 6-month period, we feel, like I said, sunshine, warmth, animals, abundance in fruits, vegetables, and our harvests are great. Now, here comes Yule, right? And the two, once the Oak King is healed, he comes back again. And this time, the Oak King defeats the Holly King, and the Oak King reigns from Yule until Litha. Another variation of this is the two of them as seen as the two sides of the horned god. Now, with this legend, what they do is the two twin sides, if you will, essentially the good and the evil side, the dark and the light side, if you will. They basically battle for the favor of the goddess. Well, one is injured, as I said, during Litha, heals himself over 6 months, and then he battles it out again, and then the other one is injured and heals himself. So it's a whole cycle. It's a whole entire battle of the Wheel of the Year. And this is a really, really good story to tell during your traditional Litha bonfire, while you're eating some of these traditional foods I mentioned, while you're going on a hike, while you're having family time. It's just a really good time to do that. It's also a really good time of year to collect feathers, collect pine cones, as well as go bird watching, earthing, as I mentioned previously, as well as, giving a nice cleansing bath and a little chill watering hole. This time of year is really good. The airflow is really good. You have a lot of those really cool hot mornings, and then the evenings are really cool, and they have, where I live personally, it's overcast in the evenings, and it rains a little bit in the summertime. And before, of course, it rains, the storm obviously has to blow in, so you kind of feel the energy from the wind and from the air element. So, that being said, that is basically what Litha is, and that is some things you can do to celebrate Litha. I hope you guys like this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Give it a thumbs up if you want to see more Kitchen Witch videos, like I said, of me making potentially these Sabbat traditional meals, showing you guys how, or at least posting the recipe, which I might do below actually for you guys. So, I wish you guys lots of light, love, and blessings, and I will see you guys on Saturday. And I hope you all have a wonderful Litha, aka Midsummer, and if I don't see you then I will see you guys soon. Until then, I wish you all lots of light, love, and blessings. As usual, have a bitchin' day. Bye.